I'm back on with another video. Thank you so much for everybody who watched last week's video and reached out to me and basically just said that you could relate to my message, and it just meant a lot to me that, you know, to know that other moms were feeling the same thing and that I'm not alone. This is just really awesome because I feel already a tribe building from this. A tribe where we can relate to each other, help each other out with certain things in our life. And that was my main goal last week with sharing that message. I needed to get this message off of my heart because I knew I had to just put it out there because I wasn't the only one. And so I put a post on Instagram saying, should I put a new video out on Mondays? And a lot of you said yes, so that was exciting that my videos are wanted, and so here I am making another one. I think maybe this will be a goal to set a new video on my channel once a week every Monday. So let me know if that, if that's something that you would want. Maybe in the future I'll do more than one video a week, but I think this is a good start. So on this channel, I'm going to be discovering more to life and sharing that. Making this my online journal, and who knows, maybe it'll expand in the future. But that's my goal for right now. Is my biggest goal for myself is to start basically journaling and taking some steps to change my life, and I think this would be a great way to document it and, not just limit myself to writing my notes down, but sharing it and helping other moms and forming a tribe so we can stick together and push through. So last week I talked about needing to make changes, and a week has gone by and I've made maybe 2 changes, not really 2. One change, and took action to prepare myself to make a second change, if that makes sense. So I watched a video on another channel, Trina Little is her name. I'm going to put her link to the video that I'm going to be talking about in the iCard. And then maybe in the description box below, I'll put some details in there just in case you didn't see it on the iCard or if it doesn't work or something. So her YouTube channel is Trina Little. She's on Instagram too. She posted a video right after my video last week, and it was steps. I think it was like 15 steps to take, to change your life, or 15 steps that successful people take, whatever. So I basically jotted down what stuck with me when I watched that video, but I really highly recommend watching her video because she talks about each step, each of those 15 steps, how she does it in her personal life, what the benefits are of taking those steps. So when I saw that, I was like, wow, this is exactly what I need to know, because I'm wanting to change my life, and she's literally giving me steps to take to be more successful in my own life. So this was awesome. So I just jotted down a brief, like, one-word description of each step. So there's 15 of them, and she talks a lot about it in her video. So go watch her video. I'll link it, like I said. So I'm going to get started. I'm going to read you briefly these steps that I wrote down. I think first step was routine, just forming a routine. I had put down, like, especially in the morning for me, I really need to work on a morning routine better, like getting out of bed early. The next one she actually recommends is to wake up early, make your bed, which is a struggle for me. I really need to get into the habit of making my bed. It's just so hard because we co-sleep, so if someone's still sleeping when I get up, I don't make the bed right away, and then I go back to bed to nurse the baby for nap time. So all day long, like, my bed's just like being used, and so it's really hard to make the bed. But I do know on the days I have made my bed before, it just is refreshing to walk into my room and it just looks put together. So I need to figure out how to do that. Tidy up, exercise, meal plan, get dressed, create a happy workspace, goal plan your week, simplify outfits, I think it's this, she wrote like put yourself together more. I wrote for myself like meaning like hair and makeup. Turn your phone off, drink more water, set time for yourself. So I actually just realized, basically reading off of that list, I did make a third change, which was create a happy workspace. I wanted my video to look a little bit better than last week. If you remember, I had laundry in the background that was like not cool. So I created this little space behind me to create a little bit of a happier workspace for myself. I'm back. I got a little bit distracted before because I heard kids screaming. But anyway, so the one change I made was, like I said, the workspace behind me. And so writing this list didn't necessarily become like a big change for me. It's not like I tackled all these things on my list, but this was the action I was talking about that I made so that I can work towards all of these changes. So I wouldn't consider this like a big change, but because I normally write down things, like that's not abnormal for me, like I'll write things down, but to actually work towards the things or remember to read the things that I wrote down and do something about it is another thing. Like I have tons of notes that I have taken, like, oh, I should do this, remember to do that, or goals. Like I've tried making routines and printed out all this stuff, and then you know, like my sister even bought me this little planner, and I've used it sparingly. I don't religiously use it every day. So writing down these notes from her video is one thing, but hopefully, you know, by doing these videos, it'll help me come back on here and report, and you guys can keep me accountable to actually take the action to complete these steps that I wrote down. So this is a long progress of making changes. And then another change that I made this week was an emotional type change that we did as a family. So we're a family of 5, 2 girls and 1 boy, and my husband and me. And we talked to the kids and said, look, we need to stick together. There's going to be lots of meltdowns between the ages of 7 and 1. You know, my middle child's 3.5. So there's just going to be all sorts of meltdowns. So we need to figure out how to work on this a little bit better. So I said, okay, you know, tell me what you need from us to help you through the meltdowns. Like when you're really upset, what would you like us to do to help you? And then, you know, each of us sat through and we talked about, like, because, you know, even for me, like, when you're all heated in the moment, it's so hard to remember the things that, you know, you say to yourself when you're feeling good. Like, remember to stay positive and all these things. Like, when you're heated in the moment, like, you need someone to say, hey, snap out of it. Like, remember, like, you want to stay positive, right? So, we decided to stick together, family pact, that when we're all melting down, even mom, even dad, like someone's going to jump in and say, don't forget, you told me this when you were calm, that when you're upset, I want to remind you this. And we gave the kids permission too. Like when we're having a moment, you can come to mom and dad and say, is this a moment that you really want to be yelling? Or remember what you said to me, and it'll help us calm down and be like, yeah, you're right. Because, you know, the fighting, the yelling, and all that stuff doesn't end up working out anyway, at least for our family. So we're going to try to make that change to back each other up and lift each other up and help us, you know, help each other get through these moments. So I'll give you some examples. One child said that even if they did something bad, like hit their sibling, as long as the sibling's not really hurt, like bleeding, whatever, knocked unconscious, but just crying, you know, they want to also be calmed down. Like, yes, I need to attend the crying child and support that child that got hurt, but the other child, before getting yelled at and embarrassed, wants to also have a moment to calm down so that when I tell them what they did was wrong, they're not all worked up and upset. And I thought, wow, like that's huge for a child to realize that in order for them to understand that what they did was not okay, they should be calm first. Because if they're embarrassed and upset about what they did, and I'm yelling at them that what they did was wrong, it's just going to make them feel worse. So one child said, you know, my oldest said, you know, please calm me down and help me too when I'm upset before, you know, giving me advice or telling me what to do. Middle child said pretty much the same thing. She loves to copy her brother. She just said when she's sad, she wants hugs, which is difficult because there are times where she's like flipping out and does not want a hug, and she'll say, no, leave me alone, and you tell her, you know, you're sorry, no, leave me alone. So we'll see how that goes. But she said she pinky swears that when somebody offers a hug or says sorry, she's not going to turn it away or reject it. She's going to try to hug it out and realize that that might feel her better and comfort her. The baby is too little to understand what all this means. So we skipped over her, and I asked the kids when mommy's really upset to remind me to calm down and remember our talk and to give me a hug and for them to tell me that they love me before I yell or do something, you know, that is just out of anger, you know, and lash out on one of them because I'm stressed or whatever. So we all, you know, even my husband, Dad came up with a little short list of things that he would like us to remind him too. So as a family, we are working towards changes as well. So hopefully this has helped you. Let me know what changes you're making. Did anybody make changes in the week from like last Monday until now? Like after you watched my video, did you make any changes? Let's see, maybe next week we can talk about, you know, we'll keep in touch and I'll talk about if we've made any more changes, but look forward to a video on how to stay motivated. I think that was something I wanted to talk about too, was how to stay motivated and how can we, you know, because this is a little example on how we can stay motivated to stay positive. Like as a family, we're helping each other out and giving each other reminders when we're upset, which is going to be really challenging, but hopefully we can pull through. And I'm looking for other ways to stay motivated. And hopefully I'll be back next week with some tips on how to do that. So look in the description box below, and I will be posting Trina Little's YouTube page, her Instagram page. I will list the steps that I wrote down in the description in case I wasn't speaking loud enough or wasn't really clear, so you can copy and paste that for your own record. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week.
If you want to see more of Mommy's videos, give her a big thumbs up and subscribe. Bye!